I fool, you called me out, so here's my response to you, sucker. Alright, I know you're a cool dude, and I know you told me this. I was actually ready to respond to your comment, but YouTube was being annoying that day, and I never bothered going back after it started pissing me off. Like, work. so okay, so I found a couple links. I'll include them, but I'm not gonna include points from those links for the simple fact that I don't feel like going to the links right now, and I'm just starting to do this video. Okay, so plants feeling pain. Well, from what I've heard, is that they have a similar reaction to physical harm to the body, but it is not at the same level of the pain that an animal will feel. It's just not like we cannot. It's not the same as okay when someone cuts your arm, the body's reaction is one of pain. But in a plant, the concept of pain doesn't exist, but a simple, but like inflammatory reaction does happen in that same sense. However, plants do not have nerves and like a brain in the same way that um, an animal would, and so pain is much more of a more complex feeling that is felt yet in animals. There's no question that there's proof that animals do feel pain, but plants don't feel pain in the same way that an animal would. But some people, this would actually lead them to become frutivores, which basically means they would only eat fruit. And the idea of this is that they're not actually killing an animal to get that fruit. To get that fruit, they're taking the seeds. So what's happening is the animal isn't, the seed isn't being planted and the new animal isn't created, but we eat the fruit that the baby would eat, that would sustain the baby plant, you could call it. And I actually found an interesting thing about on do plants feel pain? An interesting point that brings up why we should be vegetarians, even if plants don't feel pain. An animal rights perspective on whether plants feel pain, and it says, now I think I found something very interesting. It brought up the points of the carrots screaming, and pretty much what it says here. Excuse me, I'm kind of looking. Plants do respond with high. They respond with high levels of stress. React strongly to wanton destruction, smashing or setting fire to an entire plant. So, if you try to hurt plants, they will feel the stress, but those are more drastic things. Like pulling off leaves, little response would happen, but um, the amount of stress that plants undergo through normal farming practices may be insignificant, and in any case, there might be ways that this impact could be reduced in the future. Um, and so, and also what it says is another perspective comes from evolutionary science, which, while it's highly adaptive for animals to feel pain and fear so they can better avoid dangerous situations, most plants aren't able to take any action to avoid harm. For this reason, there would be no evolutionary advantage to plants feeling pain, so it would be an unlikely trait to develop, but that's a theoretical argument, and experimental results may or may not support it. And on the next page of this, there are two pages, one I forgot, but it's not important to answer this question from an animal rights perspective, because regardless of the answer, you are better off eating plants. The fact is, almost all animals used for food are herbivores, and the amount of plant matter they must eat in order to produce a significant amount of edible meat is many times higher than the amounts of plants used in a vegetarian diet. So whether those carrots are screaming or not, the plants and the animals should be thanking you for your compassionate choices. So, pretty much the point of that is that whether or not these carrots are screaming or plants feel pain, you're still killing far less plants, and you're still doing a better thing for the environment by choosing a vegetarian diet. Um, okay, and also, I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but I am not Onision or Onision. I don't really care. I am not him. I know I share some of his viewpoints, but one, he doesn't believe in evolution, and I think he's a little bit too extreme in his viewpoints, in my opinion. I really don't think I think he listens to other people's points, but I really don't think that he's very reasonable about his perspectives. Um, and I'm not anti-drug. I'm just anti-drug for myself. I don't suggest it, but that basically, okay. What I'm saying is, my opinions on what I personally do are different from my opinions on what should happen in many ways, and I think that Onision is a lot more drastic in his viewpoints than I am. I mean, I respect him, but I feel like he can be a little bit taking it too far, in that there are people close to me who make totally different choices than I do, and I don't insult them. I don't call people weak. I simply try to understand perspectives, and so, in a sense, I'd like to think I'm a little bit more level-headed, and I don't mean that as hate to him. It's just in my style. I'm a little bit more level-headed in that it's like, okay, so why do you eat meat? Why? So yeah, I guess my basic point was just to prove that a vegetarian diet, I think, is still doing good for the environment. I don't think it makes me better than you, but I think that it is still a more positive choice. It's Spike here. Peace out.